My children took me to a nursing home, and I didn't fight it because I thought it was temporary. Most people have no idea what really happens behind those doors. But everyone should know, because this reality might touch every single one of us someday, whether we want it or not. Friends, write in the comments where you're watching us from, and hit like if you want to know what's most surprising and unexpected. The hip replacement surgery went fine, but recovery was going to take months, not weeks. My daughter Sarah worked 2 jobs. My son lived 3 states away with his own family troubles. Living alone in my apartment suddenly became impossible when you can't even get out of bed. The decision seemed logical, even compassionate. Find a good place with professional care. We researched extensively, visited the fancy ones with marble lobbies and piano music. Sunset Manor cost $3,000 monthly, but it promised dignity and community. The brochure showed smiling residents playing chess, doing yoga, painting watercolors together. What they didn't show was how it feels when someone else controls your entire existence. My first morning, a cheerful aide woke me at 6:30 for medications I could take myself. Breakfast happened at 8 sharp, whether you were hungry or not, sleepy or wide awake. I'm 74 years old, I thought, and someone is telling me when to sleep. Don't ask for seconds at dinner. Don't stay up past 9. Don't question the activity schedule. The staff wasn't cruel, just overwhelmed. 30 residents per aide during day shifts. But here's what surprised me most. The other residents had fascinating life stories. Margaret had been a World War II code breaker, still sharp as a razor blade. She could recite entire Shakespeare sonnets, while the staff treated her like she was invisible. Frank flew fighter jets in Korea, but now needed help buttoning his shirt. The contrast between who these people were and how they were treated was heartbreaking. Every Tuesday, Margaret waited by the window for her son, who promised to visit. Every Tuesday evening, she'd put away the good dress she'd worn for his arrival. 8 months of Tuesdays. 8 months of hoping. 8 months of being forgotten. That's when I realized the difference between loneliness and abandonment. They're not the same. Loneliness is temporary. Abandonment feels permanent, like you've become invisible to the world. The medical care was competent, medications on schedule, blood pressure checked, wounds dressed properly. But nobody asked what I missed most about my old life, or what still mattered to me. I missed making coffee when I wanted it, not when the schedule dictated caffeine time. I missed choosing whether to watch news or read a book without group voting. Your autonomy disappears gradually, like vision fading. You don't notice until it's gone completely. Some residents gave up fighting and became whatever the system expected them to be. Others maintained their dignity through small acts of rebellion that kept their spirits alive. I decided early that I wouldn't disappear just because I lived somewhere institutional now. Every morning I'd dress completely, not pajamas and robe like they preferred for convenience. The staff initially resisted because routine made their jobs easier, but I persisted. Politely. I started reading aloud to residents who couldn't see well anymore, becoming useful again. Purpose returned to my days when others needed something I could still provide easily. Helping Herbert write letters to his grandchildren reminded me that I still had value. So what helped me survive those 8 months with dignity intact? First thing, I refused to stop thinking like a person with a future. Every morning, I'd set small goals for myself. Read 20 pages. Learn 5 new English words. Write a letter to my grandson about his baseball games. Call my neighbor back home. Sounds trivial? It's not. These weren't just activities. They were acts of rebellion against invisibility. When you have goals, you're not warehoused. You're living. There's a massive difference. Second strategy. I became useful to others around me. This changed everything. Margaret in room 12 couldn't see well anymore. I started reading her the newspaper daily. Frank needed help calling his daughter. His arthritis made dialing impossible. I became his phone operator. Here's what nobody tells you about aging. The moment you stop being needed, you start disappearing. But when Margaret waited for me each morning, when Frank saved stories for our calls, I wasn't just another old man taking up space. I was Margaret's reader. Frank's connector. Friends, write in the comments where you're watching from. And hit like if you want to know the most surprising discovery I made there. Third thing, I fought for my dignity, quietly but firmly. This was crucial. When they told me shower time was Tuesday morning at 9 sharp, I negotiated. I've been showering in evenings for 74 years. Can we make this work? Most staff respected reasonable requests. The key word? Reasonable. And persistent. I wasn't demanding special treatment. I was requesting basic human autonomy. Some residents had given up fighting for anything. I understood why. It's exhausting, but every small victory over institutional thinking kept my spirit alive. Then something unexpected happened in month 6. I started seeing the place differently, not as a prison, but as a community of survivors, people with incredible stories. Sarah taught high school English for 43 years, could recite Shakespeare like breathing. These weren't just old people waiting to die. They were libraries of human experience. I realized something profound. I'd been mourning my old life instead of living my current one. Month 7 brought the news I'd been waiting for. Medical clearance to go home. But here's what shocked me. I felt nervous about leaving. I'd built relationships here, routines, purpose. Margaret still needed her daily reader. This is what movies about nursing homes never show. Sometimes people find meaning there. Not everyone's experience, certainly. But for those who adapt, community can emerge anywhere. The day I left, something beautiful happened. 23 people came to say goodbye. 23 people whose lives had touched mine in 8 short months. I promised Margaret I'd visit twice monthly to read. I've kept that promise. Frank and I still talk every Sunday. He's teaching me about woodworking over the phone. Coming home felt like stepping back into my real life. But was it more real? My apartment was exactly as I'd left it. But I wasn't the same person. I'd learned something essential about human adaptability and the power of attitude. Every morning now, I wake up grateful for small freedoms I'd taken for granted. Choosing when to shower, what to eat, whether to stay up late reading. These aren't privileges, they're fundamental human dignities. Now, for those facing this decision for their parents, listen carefully. First, visit facilities multiple times without warning. See them at their worst, not their best. Talk to residents privately. Ask them what they'd change. Their answers will surprise you. Can they refuse activities? Choose meal times? Have privacy when they want it? Third, be brutally honest about your visiting schedule. This matters more than money. A resident with weekly visitors lives differently than one with monthly visitors. Fourth, remember that your parent is still your parent, regardless of address. Their wisdom, experience, and need for respect didn't disappear with their independence. Some of you watching have parents in care facilities right now. Others are facing this decision soon. Some are residents yourselves. Here's what I want you to know. Placement in care doesn't equal abandonment, but it also doesn't equal absolution from emotional responsibility. Your presence matters more than the quality of the carpet or the menu options. I've seen residents bloom when family visits regularly, and wither when forgotten. To those currently living in care facilities, you haven't become less valuable. Your stories matter. Your preferences matter. Your comfort matters. Don't let institutional routine erase your personality. Fight gently, but fight consistently. Find ways to be useful to others. Purpose doesn't retire just because you did. And to the families, guilt won't improve anyone's quality of life. Action will. Regular visits, phone calls, advocacy when needed. I'm not bitter about my 8 months there. I'm grateful. It taught me that dignity isn't about independence. It's about being seen and valued. That community can form anywhere humans choose to care about each other. That aging isn't about decline. It's about adaptation. Most importantly, it taught me that our worth doesn't depend on our productivity. We matter because we're human. Full stop. No qualifications needed. Whether you're 25 or 95, in your own home or someone else's. If this story resonated with you, share it with someone facing these decisions. And remember, we're all just temporarily able-bodied. This conversation affects everyone. Thank you for listening to my truth. It wasn't easy to share, but it needed saying.